Hey, so a lot of people are talking about the market right now and how challenging it is. And I want to share today some hope. I want you to be excited about the opportunities that exist because I truly believe that real estate is still the best opportunity that there is. I'm going to share today my story of how I got into it. I'm going to share also what it takes to actually succeed in real estate and what the real opportunity is. And then I have a special gift for all of you at the end. I have been working on creating a guide for realtors who want to create consistent income. Who want to create a six-figure income or beyond. And so I'm going to offer that for free. At the end, you will be able to download that. So a lot of you don't know me. A lot of you do. You follow my posts. I'm trying to get the word out there that real estate really can be a life changer. And but a lot of you don't even know my story. So I actually am from Canada. And I moved here in 2008, 2009. And as most of you know, the market had crashed at that point. And that's when I showed up. And my husband was a contractor at the time. We were newly married, and contracting was not contracting, right? There wasn't a lot of opportunity at that time. And so we both decided that we were going to pivot, and we started a business working on foreclosure properties. It was super glamorous. We were actually cleaning them out ourselves. So we were cleaning them out, getting them all trashed out, repairs done so that the properties could be put on the market. So we worked with local real estate agents, and we would get them all done. We would do the poopy part, I say, because it was really poopy. We were really, going into some horrific properties and doing everything ourselves. We had like a little U-Haul trailer when we started that we legit rented from Home Depot, and we were paying to do those jobs. We calculated at one point like we were paying close to $300 an hour to do these jobs, and we just knew that it would lead somewhere. And we just kept on moving with faith and doing the work. And my husband did have to talk me off the ledge several times, which is kind of the story of our life, him talking me off the ledge. And so through that experience, though, we ended up getting introduced to some local real estate agents. And my husband started to, plant the seed that maybe real estate, was something that I should get into. And certainly after we bought our first house, he was like, come on, you've got to do this. Eventually he won me over. That's kind of a whole other story that we would be here for too long if I shared it. But I got into real estate, and I decided, I'm going to go all in if I'm going to do this, because it wasn't something I wanted to do. I know there's a lot of people that I talk to that are like, I've wanted to do real estate my whole life. That was not me. I was more into like nonprofit work, social service kind of work when I was in Canada. And came down here, and my whole world changed when I married my husband and got into the lovely land of entrepreneurship. So obviously I did achieve a lot of success early on, and that is because of who I surrounded myself with and some of the tips that I'm going to share with you today. But really, I can't think of another job or business that you can invest like $2,000, at least in Washington, it's like $2,000 and 90 hours, and like you've got your license. And just the opportunity that you have in real estate to like the income opportunity for one, and then the opportunity to really impact people's lives, which I didn't quite, I guess, fully understand. Otherwise, maybe I would have gotten into it sooner, but I always thought it was like this superficial. I joke around like I never wanted to be a realtor because I thought I had to drive a BMW and wear a pantsuit. And that just wasn't me. But real estate is so much more intimate, and it's so impactful helping people buy and sell real estate. It's a huge deal for people to make a move, and to be a part of that process is wildly inspiring and fulfilling. But a lot of realtors don't ever even get there. because they don't have a plan, right? They don't know really what this business entails. And a lot of people reach out to me asking me, what's real estate really like? And today I want to share some of that with you. But first, I just want to get you excited about the actual opportunity. I mean, you can net, like I did. I went from zero to over like 300,000 net in just 18 months. I really don't know where you can go and do that with such a low investment of time and resources, money wise, just to get your license. So I think once you get your license, though, that's where the real investment starts, right? And so, why do people fail in real estate? They fail first and foremost because they have no idea what they're really getting into. And the things that we're told when we start in real estate are things like, oh, it takes a lot of time to get going. And so then people think, well, I just got to kind of put in my time. I got to pay my dues, so to speak. And eventually, something will happen. Everything will click and I'll start to get some income coming in. When really that's not the case. I always joke around and say, I could go sit in my car for the next year and I'm never going to turn into a car if I go sit in my garage for the next year. Or if I get a gym membership, but I never actually go, I don't follow a plan, and I'm just kind of winging it, my results are going to reflect that. So in real estate, really what it takes to succeed is you've got to have a plan and treat it like a business. So many people get into this and they say, I want to get into real estate because I want flexibility and I want income potential. Well, that's great, but how do you get flexibility and freedom and income potential? It's kind of the opposite of all of that in the beginning. So, first of all, getting a plan, understanding the path and the math, I say. Math is always happening in real estate. You're just not aware of it. It is not about luck. Like so many people think it's just feast or famine. The market's up, the market's down. And yeah, the market impacts what we do and the results that we get for certain, but you have, as a real estate agent, way more control over the results than most people think. Most people think that you just get your license, make some cute posts on social media, maybe host some open houses here and there, and I don't know, eventually you get some business, right? But when you understand and can create a business plan for yourself and execute the business plan, it really creates a lot of clarity. B, it gives you belief, because when you've seen, in a sense, a pro forma of how to get from A to B, and all you have to do is actually work the plan, and you can see examples of other people who have done it and who are succeeding, it helps you with your confidence and your belief in the plan, right? Which you're going to need. And so having a plan and understanding the math, understanding the business, and that it isn't luck, that it's actually up to you and your activity and what you do each and every day, not just being in the business for a length of time, but it's time on the right activities. So it's not just time alone. So what else does it take? It takes daily putting yourself out there, daily lead generation. So what is lead generation? Well, you've got to be able to talk to people. You've got to have leads. And how do you generate those, right? Well, you can buy them, which a lot of people go very broke doing that, right? They try to find a silver bullet. They spend a lot of time and money trying to find an easy way to be successful at real estate. And guess what? There's no easy way to be successful at real estate. I don't think there's an easy way to be really successful at anything. Everything takes consistency, commitment, right? Overcoming obstacles, which, by the way, were often the number one obstacle that we have to overcome. A lot of mindset, right? You've got to, they say that you win in here before you win out, right? Externally. Um, it takes a lot of understanding how to build a pipeline and understanding how to build a business. And a lot of agents, they just get in and they're not given the tools, the plan, the strategy. When I was a new agent, I remember asking, tell me what to do. I mean, remember, I had just come from cleaning foreclosures, right? So I was cleaning like legit poop out of some of these houses. We were like grinding, we were working really hard. It was disgusting work. And so when I got into real estate, I was like, you mean all I have to do is like make phone calls and sit in pretty houses on the weekends and I can make like any amount of money that I set my mind to? I was willing to do anything, legal, like anything just to succeed at this after coming out of what I was coming out of. And so I was asking people, what do I do? And I was told things like, go for coffee with your friends. Yeah, that was the advice that I got. Do open houses, which that one's a good one. But you need to have a strategy for your open houses, right? You need to have more than just go for coffee and do open houses. So people aren't given the tools, the data, the plan that they need in order to be really successful in real estate. And then you just have a lot of people that go broke or get discouraged. So either broke in spirit or broke financially before they can actually get any traction in this business. And so I'd say the plan is the number one thing that you need to figure out. And so in my guide, I actually help break down an example of an income goal and how you can work it backwards so that you can figure out, if I have said income goal, well, what do I need to do in order to get there each and every day, right? So you've got to have that clarity. Most people, like, they're not actually not willing to work, right? I mean, there are some people, they're lazy and they don't want to work. Or some of those people, I think they aren't even necessarily lazy or don't want to work, but they're not willing to do certain things. But I wouldn't be willing to do some of those things either if I didn't really understand the income opportunity that was presented before me. I mean, I don't think I would have wanted to go and door knock neighborhoods and cold call and call people that I know, and embarrassingly, at the time I was embarrassed, like asking them for business. I wouldn't have wanted to do all those things every single day if someone said, yeah, you could make $45,000 a year, which is, I think, what the average realtor makes, and you can go get other jobs that are way less stressful than dealing with real estate if you want to make that kind of money. But if someone said to me, you could make $300,000, yeah, I will door knock for 300,000. I won't door knock for 40, but I'll door knock for $300,000. Would I do that? Would I cold call for that? Yep, I will. I'm not too proud to do any of those things, for that kind of income potential. And so it's not about the money to me. It's about the impact that you can have on your family, first and foremost, and then on the community around you. Because, on our team, I don't have anyone, I don't think, maybe, that wants to, buy like Ferraris and just like Louis Vuitton and everything, with their money. I think most of us, we want to provide a good life to our family. We want to unlock opportunities that maybe we didn't have, that we want to be able to provide for our kids. I want to be able to help my parents and my sister and, help my kids achieve their dreams. And so I was willing to do things for that. But I think sometimes we're coming from survival mode And if no one sits down with you and really explains the potential that exists, and then you're surrounded by people who are either barely scraping by or really kind of mediocre at best, then you might not understand really the opportunity before you in real estate. It's phenomenal. I mean, it makes me so excited to think about the people that I've known in the past that have come through here and the lives that have been changed because of it. And sure, they worked really hard, but I think without the plan and the environment that they were in, they may or may not have gotten where they were. But one of my favorite stories is this girl. She was 19 years old. I mean, she was kind of a hot mess, and she came to our team, and she was like, I don't know, hungover at her open houses, and she started doing what we taught her. She had a business plan. She was executing on it, and she was buying properties and created enough income for herself that she can really take it easy. She's with her kiddos now, having babies and raising her family. Stories like that, that's why I do what I do. And when you understand the opportunity that you have in real estate, I think more people would be willing to do the work if they understand the opportunity and they're surrounded by people who are pursuing it and winning. Because you really can change your family's whole financial future. You can change it generationally. You can change your community and you really impact people's lives around you with real estate. So having a plan, understanding the opportunities, and then you've got to be able to execute. And so that's really what I did with this guide that I'm going to share with you. Is I put this together, and it's really like 3 phases. So the first phase is the foundation. So that's a lot of what we've been talking about today, but where you will like walk through, get a plan together, understand the math, and how to break down your specific goals into actionable business plan, and then the consistency, right? So then you got to get to work. So once you've got the foundation, you've got your why, you've got your plan figured out. Thank you, Kristen. Then you've got to get to work and, have your calendar, have your daily actions and your priorities figured out, having systems for your follow-up, systems for your lead generation, systems for your client experience. And so consistency, doing the work, building those out. And then phase 3, you go into, growth and scale. And that's when you can add leverage to your business. You can work on your brand positioning. You can have consistent client experience and start generating referrals. And everything gets hopefully easier, right? Unless you're like me and you just decide to get your pilot's license and keep adding to the growth opportunities. But I have been changed by real estate, and so I'm super passionate about the opportunity for others. And if you are a real estate agent, or a real estate agent, or you've thought about becoming a real estate agent, please share this with them. And I'm going to share the link so you can download my free guide. It's totally free. I'm not selling anything here. It's called the Six-Figure Realtor. And I'm really excited about it. I put a lot of work into this, and this is really a guide that puts together everything that I did to build my own business, what we teach our agents here to build their own business. And I hope that it helps someone have hope and start building consistency, because yes, this is a tough business, but it's actually pretty simple. It's just hard because we have to overcome ourselves. So it's easier to overcome ourselves when we have that clarity and we have a clear path to follow. Then all we have to do is manage our mindset, right? Make sure we're in the right rooms around the right people to help us do that and actually execute on the plan. So I guess it's kind of like the saying, knowing is half the battle. It is, but there is the other half where you actually have to do the work. So I hope this guide will help someone out there, even if there's one person that, keeps in it and changes the trajectory of their business because of it. that makes me happy. That's why I'm doing this. So if you know someone, please share this that's in real estate, or if you're a real estate agent and you know someone who's struggling, know someone that's, thinking about getting out or having a hard time, please spread the word with me, and let's save some realtors. And then also, if you're thinking about getting into this, I'm always happy to have a conversation with you. But download my guide, because it'll give you a really good idea of the journey that you're about to embark on, and don't let anyone talk you out of it. A lot of people, said things to me that kind of freaked me out when I was getting into it, like it's feast or famine and all these negative things. And I know the news, doesn't paint a pretty picture right now, but there's a lot of opportunity still. Our team is doing great. We work hard, we show up for each other, we're serving our clients at a high level, and this could really change your world to get into real estate or stay in it if you're already in it, and actually build some consistent income. So this is my gift to the industry, the Six-Figure Realtor Guide, and I hope that you'll share it and download it and let me know what you think. So thanks for tuning in today, and I don't know, I might do this again. You never know. All right, bye guys.